right, so let's continue on with this self-portrait. We're transferring it over into Illustrator. And if you recall, we had done some thumbnail sketches of some ideas of self-portraits and, images that can represent yourself. They can be abstract, they can be caricatures, etc. And I personally work in a montage manner in Photoshop and putting things together that I create using Midjourney. So all of these elements, none of these are one button push and create a composition. They're all composited with background, foreground, and figure. Right. So I picked this one because for this particular self-portrait, since we're studying elements of design and Gestalt theory, I think abstract elements are going to be important to play with. And this is what I've got so far. Let me show you how easy it is to import things. Remember, you've been working with sketches, but you can also import photographs and montage them into your self-portrait. So what I did here is I did a file new, and I just picked web because that's kind of a landscape format. Okay, and then I did a file place, and I already had my my image created that I want to place in there. And as I recall, it's this one here. And to do this, we drag over and then place our element. And this is where the artboard tool comes in handy, because we then adjust the artboard to fit the image. Okay, so the image is there now. This is going to be my canvas. I'm going to alter this. It's just like the previous assignment where we drew over a template. But what I want to do here is, if you're working with photographs or graphic images, things that you're importing and not drawing, then you are going to want to do an image trace. And I should have, you've got all of these windows in here. Appearance, Pathfinder, all of these come in handy. Hold on, I was Googling some tutorials there. And let's see, I want the image trace window. So let me find that. Image trace. All right. Here we go. Now, when you bring in a photograph or something representational or a drawing, you can do it in different kinds of styles. You can actually have it be vectorized and have it look exactly like the photo you're bringing in. All right, and then you can alter it. I kind of liked this black and white mode, and I'm going to keep these here, and I'm just going to say trace. And I liked this black and white because what it's going to allow me to do is use this figure as my as me. And the idea, the concept behind this is me holding up the design elements principles, right? This is me as the artist. Okay, so what you can do here is start having some fun learning how to use some of these Illustrator tools. And personally, I like playing with the geometry. I think you learn more about the elements and principles of design by moving things around and duplicating them, etc. So, for example, I always want to have my layers window open. Okay, and we're going to see what we've got here. Image trace. All right, and I'm going to create, just to show you, I'm going to create a circle. Okay. And make sure you have bounding box, view, bounding box on. It's over here somewhere. I did not have that turned on, and I could not. Here we go. Make sure you have bounding box turned on. That way you can transform the size of this. And you hold down the Shift key. It's the exact opposite of Photoshop. Hold down the Shift key. And if I want to change the color there, I double click here, and my color picker comes up. And I can go with, I'm picking a warm. Now remember, we're talking about elements and principles of design, emphasis and focal point and movement and gestalt and things that feel like they belong together. And so in terms of color, what I'm going to do, if we go over to this other one, is I'm going to create some circles that are on top of one another in different colors, and I'm also going to play with some shapes. And then I'm going to show you how to do that. And then by this week, what we want to have a draft of this assignment. So I'm going to draw on this. I'm going to put circles, lines, squares, colors, whatever it is to activate, subdividing the negative space, grouping, referencing the edge. I want to go back and look at the lecture material, and then I want to bring that in. Okay, so here I have contrast in size as we get smaller and smaller and smaller, and I'm going to be creating a focal point there, right? So how do you do that? If you want to copy this, you hold down your Option key with your Move tool selected, and you can copy it. You can change the size, and then you can change the color. Okay, so, and you can just keep doing that if you want to get concentric circles, right? And remember, the idea is, how small can you go? The computer loves, I tell students, go huge, go medium, go small. The computer loves doing things that are small, right? So, so really, play with these things, have some fun with them as you are thinking about things like focal points and placement. Now, one quick thing too, if you want to start playing with shapes, is you can add different points on here. Let's say I want to do a freeform shape. I don't want it to be all just circles and squares and things. Okay, and then I can click and I can start adjusting my little things here. And I can make these little amoebic kind of geometric shapes. Right? I can do that. I can change the size of this, and I can change the color. So can you see, does this give you an idea as far as maybe playing with some of the elements in your own design? One other little trick I'll show you is you can select both of these, and then you can click on, let me see if I can find my Pathfinder. Hold on, let me find Pathfinder. Window, properties. Oh, Pathfinder's already there. Okay. No, I don't want that one. That's in the tutorial. So, paragraph, Pathfinder. Let me turn it off and on. There we go, Pathfinder. So, when you have these selected, you see these different combinations. You can have it to where and you can undo anything. You can have them be exclusive. You can have them, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get rid of the intersection. That comes in really handy. So remember your layers window, so that you can move things, behind, for example, if I want to move this thing behind that shape and have it peeking out. And what I'm going to do is this week, I'm going to build on this. I'm going to look at this white. Maybe I want to add some text in here. Now, be careful. I'm going to be adding text as a graphical element, not as like a label. If you want to label this thing, make it and title it something, but don't put any text on this unless you're going to be playful with it. But I am going to be playing with shapes, geometric, amoebic, placement. I want to really refine this design and get it to a point where I can get some feedback and then decide what else I want to do. I can get really daring and perhaps I can bring in this portrait here and place it in this black area. Don't forget your atmospheric perspective. So one of the things I want to do here is constantly be thinking, not just be going around and around and around in the composition, but also how can I get the eye to go back? All right. You can import photographs and cut them up. You can import things that you've created, designs, and you can import them along with your sketches. You can make hybrid forms, but just, get comfortable with basic shapes, duplicating them, changing the color, changing the size, and building these designs.